the Earth's ozone layer suddenly burst, and a cold current poured down. When the detectives realized something was wrong, the cold current had surrounded the ship and successfully penetrated along the ventilation ducts. Seeing the electronic instruments in the cabin freeze instantly, a crew member wanted to escape but was frozen into an ice sculpture before he could get up. At the same time, this cold wave also began to spread to various parts of the world, and many people were caught off guard and froze to death. Unfortunately, the Golden Gate Bridge was hit by disaster again. It looked like it was built tens of thousands of meters high in the air. People were playing happily on the beach in Brazil. Suddenly, the sea was frozen, and then began to approach the city. Everywhere it went was frozen into ice sculptures. Even migratory birds and airplanes in the sky fell to the ground without exception. London was no exception, with freezing air instantly filling the city. A mother in the Warship Big Ben residential building received an alarm, but he didn't take it seriously. He thought it was just the cold air of -20 degrees. She was still talking on the phone slowly. Her son looked at the fleeing vehicles and a bad feeling arose spontaneously. Kept urging her mother, but this made her extremely angry.
I'm on the phone.
Just when he was ready, the cold air arrived. You know, this is not -20 degrees, but -80 degrees. In this way, the mother and child were frozen alive in the car and turned into ice sculptures. But this is not an isolated case. There are many people in the city who have no time to escape. A housewife couldn't help but panic when she saw the tragic scene outside the house. Since the house was safe, she let down her guard, turned on the music, and began to drink red wine elegantly. She just wanted to stay quietly in the house and wait for the cold wave to pass. But the next second, when the housewife realized the problem, there was no way out. And the source of all this starts with William's discovery a few days ago. William is an expert in meteorology. Through instruments, he discovered that there is something wrong with the recent climate, and the source may be problems with the ozone layer. He reported the problem immediately, but no one believed him. What's even worse is that because he is busy with work, his family is broken up, his wife is arguing for divorce, and his daughter is also rebellious in adolescence. For him, work and life were a mess. He felt that the data was abnormal that day. He wanted his daughter to stay at home and have a heart-to-heart talk after a long absence, but his daughter was extremely angry after hearing this.
About what? How you forgot my 16th birthday 3 days ago?
After saying that, he left without hesitation. A cold wave quickly spread across the world, and many people froze to death before they understood what happened. William panicked when he learned that there was a problem with the exploration ship, which meant that there was already a problem with the ozone layer. He quickly found his wife and asked her to take care of the elderly and inform them of safety issues. Although the wife was dubious about this matter, considering William's career and his serious character, the wife still chose to believe it. On the other side, William drove to the school to look for his daughter, but no matter how he looked, she was nowhere to be found. In panic, he found his daughter's best friend, and sure enough, he secretly ran to the beach to play. William panicked when he learned about this. According to calculations, the cold air would soon reach the city. At this time, his daughter who was playing noticed something strange on the sea and curiously took a video. At this moment, William arrived. Seeing the overwhelming cold air approaching quickly, he was already very close. He quickly reminded the two of them to run, but no matter what he said, the love brain next to him insisted on waiting for his boyfriend. As he said that, he walked towards Starhigh ran away, and William wanted to stop him, but it was too late. Seeing that there was no chance for the two of them, William quickly took his daughter into the car and started running towards home. In this way, he and the cold air started a life and death battle. Thinking of the tragic death of her classmates, her daughter began to cry, but William knew that there must be more victims in this disaster. On the other side, the wife found the old man, but the old man didn't believe her statement at all, and still said that these were all alarmist and the imagination of those sitting at the computer desk. The two old men didn't believe everything until they called their daughter. Obviously, there are many people in the city who have the same thoughts as them, and their ending is obvious: they will freeze to death. The day after the cold wave swept across, the surviving cities were in chaos. People began to buy for $0 in supermarkets. Those who were unlucky, like this plane flying in the air, finally ran out of fuel and were forced to descend. As a result, in order to solve this problem, the US authorities built 300 hot air balloons, carrying high concentrations of ozone into the sky. As everyone knows, these operations are useless. A cold wave fell from the sky, and Tokyo, Japan, was frozen to death before they could stock up on supplies. Casualties have occurred in New York, London, Sydney, and all over the world. In order to prevent this disaster, the US government built 300 balloons to plug leaks in the ozone layer. Soon, the hot air balloon arrived at the designated location, and the fighter jets on the aircraft carrier also quickly set off. As the missile was launched, the balloon exploded violently. Not only did the predictable results not occur, but the hole in the ozone layer expanded, causing the temperature to drop again, and even the aircraft carrier was instantly frozen. The people were desperate, and the president began to broadcast messages of failure on television. It was because humans did not protect and care for the environment that the current ozone leak occurred. Now, let's destroy it together. When William learned about this, he immediately contacted the president and told his own method. As long as the high-explosive rocket was launched to the ozone hole and detonated, a lightning chain reaction would occur. Finally, waiting for the big explosion, nature will heal itself. It sounds a bit nonsense, but at the moment there is no other way but to give it a try. Soon, William sent the data model he calculated to the government. After obtaining the data, the United States immediately launched the rocket device. Tens of seconds later, the rocket rushed into outer space at the speed of light. After drawing a beautiful arc in the universe, it landed near the ozone hole. Everyone stared intently. After all, this was related to the survival of all human beings. As the rocket separated, they rushed towards the ozone hole at the speed of light. After an explosive lightning reaction, as Williams said, the ozone began to heal automatically. As the vulnerability disappeared, the Earth began to move anew. Eventually the cold wave receded, everything recovered, and people finally understood the importance of protecting the environment. Polar Cold Wave is a low-cost disaster film. Although it is not well made in some parts, the truth he tells us is very good. You know, humans are just guests of the Earth. They have no reason to ask for too much from the Earth, let alone destroy it. Maybe we can be sure that such a disaster will not happen on the Earth tomorrow, but who can guarantee that the day after tomorrow will be equally safe?